I always call the investment side like the dark side of real estate. You're not dealing with this beautiful granite countertop. Look at the beautiful. It's not like that. We deal with ugly houses. In order to get 60 offers on paper, you have to have hundreds of conversations. I got to look at 200-300 deals and then narrow it down to these 60.
In the first 12 months, you guys generated over 7 figures. Is that hard to do or is that easy to do? That's the best kind of property, is it not?
Absolutely.
I mean, when it's off market, it's not been bombarded by all the canvassers. How do you find these off market deals?
You're right. It's very exclusive. I always say like we like to keep our list of investors very exclusive. So like the deals that we come across, you can't just find them anywhere else, right? You're getting them because you're on our list and you've built a relationship with one of our agents. But there's different ways where we come across a lot of deals. Biggest way right now is relationships, right? A lot of it has been, which is great because it's free, right? Relationships is free and they keep bringing you more business. So it's a lot of realtors we've done business with in the past, even other wholesalers or other investors themselves that they have properties, or just a lot of it's been word of mouth, but we also do some direct to seller marketing.
Well, do you think they're listening to this podcast, some of those people?
Potentially, yeah.
Well, then, folks, I'm opening a company called Reacquired.
Reacquired.
Yeah.
we got a partner on that one.
Well, dude, I might partner with you on some things because, again, I get people that hit me up all the time with off-market deals, but I'm not savvy enough to do them because I'm not in. Everybody just assumes if you have money, you're in real estate. Yeah. Well, I need to get in real estate, but and people hear my podcast multiple times. They're like, you keep saying that, and then I send you deals. I know, but like, I look at them and I'm like, dude, why is this person selling it? I always think to myself, if it's such a great deal, why are you bringing it to me?
Right.
Like, why wouldn't you just take it?
Yeah.
Because if I was in the business and I found one, I wouldn't be running it to you. I'd be like, dude, I got one.
Yeah.
And I'd be nailing it down myself. Where does it come in where like you're willing to let the investors because you don't have unlimited money?
So I think it really comes down to your business model, right? Like what you want to do. So me personally, I'm not a very detail oriented person, right? Like I flipped houses before, like I've bought rental properties that we've had to renovate before, but I don't give a shit about like what color the walls are. I don't care about the cabinets. I don't care about what kind of flooring you're going to use. Like that's me personally. Some people, they like that part. They like that. They have the creative part where like, yeah, they look at a house, they see, oh, I can open up this wall. I can do this. I can do that. That's not me, right? I'm more of like the deal maker, structuring the deal, putting it together, negotiating, connecting the dots, getting the seller, getting the buyer. That's kind of like more what I cater to. So I personally think it comes down to like your business model, your personality, and what you want to go to. Because if I flip, like I'm flipping a house right now, but my time is better spent working on the business as opposed to like if I start flipping houses, right, and stop doing like the wholesaling side of things, it's a whole nother business, right? Mm-hmm. Like,
well, totally, you heard it, man. Folks. Thanks for listening to this episode. No,
got him.
All right, thanks for coming in, Rudy. As always, until next time, guys, keep it real. I told him it's a new 4-minute format. We're doing them for 4 minutes.
4 minutes. Has it been 4 minutes already?
That's funny. Yeah, 4 minutes and 13 seconds. So no, I'm just joking. Yeah. Not only that, he sponsored the episode, so he's going to be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" But listen, there's people listening that want in real estate. I know there's people listening that invest in real estate. There's people in there doing what you're doing. What are you doing special?
So the difference is, so we're a wholesale company, right? But most wholesalers, I'd say like 95%, if not more, do assignments, right? Like we were talking about earlier. When you're doing an assignment, you're not actually closing on the property. You're just getting the property under contract, you're locking it up, and then you're reassigning it over to an investor.
Yeah, to me, that's easy, clean. Why is that not the way to do it?
It's clean, it's easier, and it's actually cheaper in the sense that you don't have to close on it and you're not subject to the short-term capital gains tax. However, it exposes you, right? It gives you less control over the transaction. And the reason why is because if I assign the contract over to you, I give up my rights as a principal, right? So what you can do is reach out to the seller hypothetically, and you can call the seller and say, hey, why don't we just cancel this deal? It's a mutual cancellation. There's a mutual cancellation. I'm left out of the loop because I'm no longer a principal. So because I'm not a principal, I've sold my rights over to you. So they can just cancel and then disregard my assignment fee and then just work together.
Has that happened?
It's happened once, yeah.
Oh, that was enough for you?
Well, I had done assignments and I always knew that concurrent closings were the way to go. But I remember this particular time we're like, let's just assign it, right? Like it'll be easier. And that was a really good reminder on why not to do assignments. And like I said, 95% of deals are done through assignments. You can get away with maybe doing 10 deals, maybe 20 deals a year that way. But to really scale, you got to close on them.
Yeah, well, I would rather do that anyway.
Yeah.
Only because, for like you said, it becomes yours, actually yours. And then you're the negotiator after that.
Yeah. And then another thing too, it gives the sellers confidence because when you're doing an assignment, like let's say we're doing an assignment, let's say he's like, we're going to the seller, right? Hey, Mr. Seller, like I want to get the property. We get it under contract and then I assign it to you, Brad. And then the seller's like, who's Brad? I thought I was working with Rudy. Like, how do I know Brad's going to close? And then some sellers will be like, you know what? I don't want to work with you anymore. I thought I was working with Rudy. Now I'm working with Brad. Who's Brad? Versus with us, what we actually do is like, hey, you're working with me. I'm actually closing on it. I'm buying it. I'm taking title. And on the back end, I'm reselling it to an investor.
Do you have it lined up before you do the deal?
Yeah. So it's a concurrent close. So I find my buyer during escrow. And then I have my close date set with the buyer before my close date with the seller, just so I can make sure that the buyer can close on time. But we record with the seller first. If it's in LA County, we have to wait 24 hours. So we own it for 24 hours. But if it's in like Orange County or any other county, really.
Don't you have to pay to close?
Yeah. I have a line of credit. We just use a line of credit.
Are you paying cash?
Well, like what? So the line of credit shows up as cash.
To them?
To the escrow company, yeah. Because it's like a private money lender. We pay them a flat fee. And then
yeah, but ultimately, if I'm selling my house for $400,000 and we make this deal, even though you're going to sell it to him 24 hours from now, I see that I'm getting my $400,000. I'm 100%. Not. You're not putting 10% down and getting a bank to pay me. Mm-mm. You're just basically you're paying cash.
Yeah.
So can you use that as your advantage?
Yeah, 100%.
As a seller, if you're an all cash buyer, I like that better.
100%. And we've done deals where we've closed in 4-day escrows, right? And we've also done deals where the seller needs 3 months and then 29 days after closing, and they want to stay there because they need the funds to buy another property. So we work on sellers' timelines, whether they want to close ASAP or they need that extra time to get their stuff out or maybe find another spot.
How are you finding these deals?
So like I said, a biggest thing is relationships, man. Like a lot of it's repeat business from people that we've done business throughout the years. A lot of realtors, they like we're their go-to, like they get a deal, they get a seller, they come to us, and then also direct to seller. So
realtors that list the house or, know the seller, they just reach out to you and say, hey, I need to move this quick. I thought it was distressed though. What makes it distressed?
A lot of the times it's when people think of distressed homes, they think of like the house itself being distressed, which a lot of the times is the case, but majority of the times it's the sellers themselves that's in a distressed situation. Maybe there was a death in the family, maybe there was a divorce. I had a guy one time, he wanted to sell before the end of the year just for tax reasons, right? There was another guy who he ran out of money, he lost his business, divorce, like whatever the situation is, they need to sell fast. They don't have the luxury of time of hiring a real estate agent, putting it on the market, doing open houses, making the house look nice, staging, taking pretty pictures, people coming in and out of their houses, right? They don't have the time for all that. So they come to us. A lot of the times we sell houses quick. So we just did a deal in, you sold it. Where was it? Stockton. $250K from the moment that the seller signed the contract to the moment the buyer had the wire in escrow, it was 1 hour and 26 minutes. Fast, right? So a lot of these investors, they buy the property sight unseen. They don't even have to look at the house, and a lot of them are buying it cash from us. So we're buying it cash from them. They're buying it cash from us.
Well, usually though, it's because it's such a killer deal. Why wouldn't someone just wait 30 days? They can't. That's the distressed part. The
sellers, are you saying, or the investors?
I mean, again, no, investors, it makes sense. The seller, like if I have a house and I want to sell it, and I do want to sell it quick. I don't want to deal with the ins and outs and all that crap. But let's say market value is 400 on the house.
Mm-hmm.
You're picking houses up for 300, 320, 280. Yeah.
About.
Yeah. So why would I lose $100,000 just to sell it now as opposed to waiting three months or 3 weeks?
A lot of times, like I said, people just have their own situations going on. And a lot of the times people, it's like distressed real estate, distressed sellers. Like you deal with a lot of people that aren't in the best situations and they just need a way out. Or maybe people get the houses inherited. Like we deal with that all the time too. Or like there was one situation where there was a peaceful death in the house, right? It was a lady, she was older, she died. It was in Victorville, right? And the son lived there and the son got so depressed that he shot himself inside the house. They had to take out the carpet. There was still holes in the ceiling of the house. Like, do you think the lady really cared about how much she sold the house for? Now that's an extreme example, right? But she just wanted to get rid of the house. She didn't care who bought it, how much they bought it. She just wanted to get rid of it. So like that's obviously an extreme example, but a lot of times we deal with a lot of distressed sellers where a lot of times it's the luxury of time. They don't have the luxury of time to put it on the market.
So do you go in and underwrite it and have a formula to make them an offer?
So in general, and we deal with California, specifically SoCal, but like Stockton and bigger markets up north, Fresno, Sacramento. But properties we're seeing in California specifically, because other states it could be different, right? But in California, properties between $350,000 to about $2 million are bought between 70 to 75% or whatever the ARV is. ARV is after repair value, right? Properties under $350K, anywhere between 60 to 70%. Once you get to like the $3, $4, $5 million mark, it goes back to like the 60, 65% of the ARV. So it depends on what areas you're in too, right? If you're in a nice area like Newport Beach, Huntington Beach, or like Costa Mesa, Irvine, right? Investors are leaning more towards the 75% mark of the ARV. But if you're in an area like South LA, Compton, Watts, investors are leaning more towards that 70% mark.
So how do you know what the ARV is?
So you look at the comparables. So we look at properties within the last, I want to say 3 to 6 months, right? Within 20% plus or minus of the square footage. And the reason why we use 20% is because that's what appraisers use. So we look at it the eyes of the appraiser. So we want to find property, especially if you're in LA, even though it's in the same zip code, same within a quarter-mile radius, you cross one street over, right? You cross a street like Manchester, Figueroa, Avalon, Main Street, right? You're in a totally different neighborhood. So you want to make sure that you're comparing apples to apples, properties that have been sold within that pocket.
How'd you learn all this?
So I started when I was like 17. I started off as a realtor and I sucked at it. But then I got introduced to the investment side of things. I went to a meetup in Torrance and they introduced me into like wholesaling and just the investment side of it. I always call the investment side like the dark side of real estate because you're not dealing with like families and homeowners and like, look at this beautiful granite countertop. Look at the beautiful, it's not like that, right? We deal with ugly houses. Sometimes there's like really bad situations. Like one time we had we just recently sold a house where there was a divorce and the lady that was living there was technically a squatter and she was the ex-wife, right? So like, like going back to like the crazy situations. But I ended up working at a corporate wholesale company. I learned a lot. That's where I met my business partner. And I actually learned a lot from my own personal investors. Like I always ask questions. I always pick their brains. Like every time I call them to pitch them a deal, it was me pitching them a deal, but it was also picking their brains. Every time I'd walk a house with an investor, I'd be like, hey, how much do you think it'll cost to fix this? Or how long do you think, like, what would you do with that? So it was a lot of my investors teaching me, and a lot of the stuff I'm just regurgitating it from them.
So in the first, I think it said 12 months, you guys generated over 7 figures.
Mm-hmm.
Is that hard to do or is that easy to do?
I wouldn't say it was easy, but I wouldn't say it was hard. I'd say it was very, like the formula is there. It's just doing it, right? It's just putting in the work. What helped is having a team, because in the beginning it was just me and my business partner. Honestly, we were crushing it. We were making pretty good money, at times more money than we were making in some of the more recent months, because it was just me and him, right? And we were crushing it, but we found that in order to scale, in order to like really hit the $1 million mark, you got to build a team. In order to build a bigger company, you got to have a sales force. You got to have a team. So our team is split into sales, and then we have acquisitions. So our team is split into two.
What are the salespeople selling the properties?
Yeah. So sales
aren't those realtors?
So they're licensed, but sales, so it's a little bit different of a dynamic because realtors represent buyers. We don't represent buyers. We're technically the seller. So on the contract that, let's say I'm selling you a house, it'll be my LLC as a seller and you as the buyer. So it's a principal to principal transaction, direct buyer to seller, because I'm technically selling it to you. But my sales team, they're focused on just going out there, building relationships with investors, whether it be networking events, Facebook groups, Craigslist, whatever it is to find investors. They're everywhere, right? In fact, investors are a lot easier to find than the houses themselves. Then we have acquisitions. All they're focused on is going out there, hunting for these deals, getting them under contract. So then they share it with the sales team. So then the sales team, then they share it to their individual networks of investors.
Where do they find the deals?
So a lot of it, relationships.
How do they know if it's a deal?
Through analyze. It's literally going through hundreds of deals. For every, let's say, so I tell my team 60 offers a month. That's the magic number, 2 offers a day on paper, right? But in order to submit 60 offers a month, you probably have to look at like 300 deals. Because not all deals, maybe they're not our product, maybe it's out of our buy box, maybe we're just too far off in price. But a lot of the times you want to offer on everything, but sometimes it's just like if someone sent me a commercial warehouse, like it's not my product. No point.
I know, but I like to leverage my reach. So like right now, there's tons of people listening to the show. They probably have a property they'd be willing to let go. And again, I get DMs after these kind of episodes drop, but I don't know what to do with them. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, you got a mobile home park in Indiana that your grandma owns and she wants to get rid of it. And then I'm thinking, well, what is it worth? Like, I don't know what the hell that thing's worth. I might offer too much. And now I'm sitting on an Indiana mobile home park that grandma couldn't sell for 4 years. And now I own it and no one wants it at all.
Yeah.
Or I got to lose money because I didn't know what I was doing. Because I can get people to send me properties. I think that, to me, I always listen to these, systems and I'm thinking, well, finding it's the hard part. Mm-hmm. Selling it and getting people and investors, that's kind of easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how do you find them? Yeah. Well, if I could figure out how to find them, I would start a program called like Finder's Fee. Right. And all I would do is say, hey, everybody listening that ain't making money that wants to come to me. I'll teach you how to find them. And then all you got to do is go do the work, bring them to me. And then I give them to someone like you. And I have thousands of deals being submitted, which will pare down to, let's say 300. And now I'm making money on those 300 with the people that found them. And we help people make money because finding the deals, it sounds like, is the hardest part.
Yeah.
And that's just the work that like investors don't want to do because they got money. Otherwise they wouldn't be investors. So it's usually the people that aren't in real estate willing to do that bullshit. Like a 17-year-old kid. If I just put out the message and said, hey, if an army of people willing to do the work want to make some money, come see me. I'll train you. And then I'll teach you exactly what to do in your neighborhood. You can work wherever you live. And then teach them how to go out and spot and identify and find deals. How long do you think it would take a normal person willing to work to find an actual deal? In a month, in a week?
So if they're submitting 60 offers a month, like I said, on paper,
No, the person. How do they find one?
So if they're submitting 60 a month, I always say in order to get one, you got to submit at least 60 offers in the beginning, at least.
Submit the offer to whom?
Whether it be to the seller, whether it be to a realtor, whether it be
pretend I'm going to start today and I'm brand new and I don't have any money.
Yeah.
And by the way, it sounds like guys, he sells a course you're going to hear about. No, he doesn't sell a course. That's the funny thing. He doesn't sell courses. He's doing this, making a money, building a company. He's not selling a course. Like if Bomb Squad wants to get involved, you can be an investor with him. Like if you have money and you want to access to all these deals he's getting, you let investors come in and just partner on the deals. And then on the other side, you're what? What's the other side? You want investors? Who else?
and sellers or agents.
Yeah.
Or
So, or if you're on a house, if bomb squad, if you have a house that you can't seem to sell, it's been on the market forever, call my man Rudy and they'll turn your house quick. So you're looking for sellers and you're looking for investors.
Yeah.
But you're not training people. What I'm trying to do is pick your brain so people listening can be trained on how to find the deal. Because if I could find the deal, the investors are easy.
Yeah.
How do I find a deal? You said you got to submit 60. How do I find one, let alone 60?
So I always say, if someone deleted all my phone number, got my phone, deleted all my contacts, they blew up, I had no money, no contacts, but I knew what I knew. First thing I would do, and some people may not like it, is go on Redfin and Zillow.
Go on what?
Redfin and Zillow.
Okay.
Right? Low hanging fruit, right? A lot of people are under the misconception that you can only wholesale off market deals. We were talking about how great off market deals are. Off market deals are great, right? But there's always opportunity too on Redfin and Zillow. It's funny. One time we did like an exercise where the team, everyone picked out different locations, different cities, right? Some people in SoCal, some people chose the IE, some people chose San Fernando Valley area, some people chose Orange County. I chose Carson, right? That's where I'm from. So we wanted to find out what percent of ARV investors are buying at, right? Going back to like what we were talking about earlier, in certain parts of like Irvine, Costa Mesa, investors are buying 75 to 78%, whatever it is, right? We found, not on purpose, that the best deals in terms of ROI were actually bought off of the MLS, right? Not off market. Right. So we weren't trying to find that data. We were trying to find what percent of ARV where investors were buying at in different parts. But we found that the best ones were bought off of the MLS. But going back to this, going on Redfin and Zillow, calling these agents and building a relationship with these agents and saying, hey, like whether it be a listed property that's active on the MLS, or one thing that I like to do is call closed listings, right? That look like fixers. I'm like, hey, what's going on, Brad? I saw you just close this fixer on 123 Main Street. This actually looks like something I would have picked up myself. You have anything else like it coming up? Actually, I do. You caught me at a perfect time. I'm listing something next week. Well, if your seller got an offer that they're willing to take, would they sell off market? Because a lot of the times the best off market deals, like I've done deals with agents where we make 140K and the investors are willing to sign off on that 140K, because going back to like what you were saying, investors have money, but a lot of the times is they don't have time, right? That's why they're willing to go out to like a wholesaler or someone like us to save them that time to bring them those deals. So going on Redfin, going on Zillow, and submitting 60 offers a month on those properties that you find on Redfin and Zillow. It's low-hanging fruit. You don't have to convince the seller, hey, sell your house, because they've already expressed interest in selling their house by listing it with a realtor. So all you got to do is build a relationship with the realtor, because the seller already trusts that realtor. So
yeah, but that I mean, if I hired a realtor to list my house and I want 5 million and I know the comps, he's not going to talk me into taking 3.
No, absolutely.
And if he did, and he was on that other side, wouldn't that be unethical?
It would be, but a lot of the times we're not targeting houses that look nice that can sell for 5 million. We're targeting houses that, if houses in the area are selling for 5, but our house is distressed and it needs 100K in work, right? We're probably going to offer 350 because it needs 100K in work in order for it to reach the 500,000. So it's like, we've bought houses before.
So that's where your 60 or 70% of ARV comes in? Where
the rehab comes into play. Because a lot of the houses, they do require rehab. We're not selling houses. Like, there has been occasionally, like we did one in Topanga where we sold it for 2.7, but it had an appraisal for like 4. But that was because the seller was losing money on it. He had money, he was an investor, and he was losing money on it. So it's rare where we sell houses that are valued at market value because of the condition of the house. A lot of the houses they're fixer-uppers. In fact, all of them are fixer-uppers that you have to put money into in order for them to be worth what the ARV is.
Yeah, so that's where I stop all the time, because it's like, I don't know that or how to get there.
Yeah.
Be friends with a contractor.
That's hard, man.
You might you might underestimate how much it costs to get a house turned around.
100%.
Like I have a house, and I don't deal with the cheap houses, but this house is, let's say, 800 a square foot. It's 9,600 square feet. I can buy it for 400 a square foot. Well, they want 500, but I think I can get it for 400. Mm-hmm. It doesn't need anything. It's got great bones. You could live in it just like it is. But if you wanted it to be worth 800 a square foot, you need new floors, new bathrooms, new closets. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that's going to cost. I could totally think, oh, that's $100,000, and find out the floor is $100,000. Yeah. So like, how do you know what everything's going to cost and to where you come in on time?
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. Like that goes back to like the fixing and the whole thing. That's why I focus on the wholesale side of things, because you don't have to deal with all that.
Which is what I'm liking. That's why I'm saying, like, dude, I know I can use my leverage, my reach to bring deals. Yeah. I don't know how, if those are deals. Like I got one right now in Nashville, $12 million building right on Broadway. You know, you ever been to Nashville? No. Like Broadway, dude. Like it's downtown Nashville where the parties are and the bars are, and like that's a hot spot, and it's growing. This is off market. They want 12 mil, and I'm thinking, should I get it? And so then it's like, I called my buddy who's there. What about this? He's like, well, it sounds like it's a good deal, but that could be this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, fuck. See, I don't want to make a $12 million mistake. Yeah. But if someone that knew what they were doing, they would be able to do some formula and say, I'm going to go lock it up because that thing's worth 15. I could wait 3 months and find an actual buyer, because this is off market. Dudes wants to sell it. I want to be able to go, oh, you want 12? No problem. Here, 15, everybody. And bang, I take 14.2 30 days later, 6 months later. I'll make 2 million in a couple months. And I wouldn't even have to pay him the 12, because all I do is put 20% down or 30% down. So I give the bank 3.5 mil, finance it. 3 months later, dump it for 14 because it's off market and it's below value. What do you do in those cases? Like you have some formula you have to. It's just not on $12 million buildings. It's on little shitter homes. Yeah. But what's the shitter home formula?
So it goes back to depending on what area you're in, right? Like I said, some areas lean more towards the 75% mark. Some areas lean more towards the 70. But
I know, but my point is like they want 12 million. If I called the next door building sold for 75, same size building, same size everything. Am I stupid? Like, do I need to fly to Nashville and get that?
Man, if it's sold for, it comes down to also how much it generates too.
It generate here. I'll show you after we get off.
If it's the house, if the building next to it, because this also goes by like cap rates, right? Especially if you're buying like rentals, there's cap rates. Like the way you analyze a rental property, totally different. The way you analyze a fix and flip, totally different.
I'll show you when we get off, but
yeah, show us.
I'm gonna want to do the same thing with just cheaper, because I have enough cash to buy a couple $300,000 houses. I don't have to. I can be an investor. Yeah. But I want to be able to move it quick. So I'll give him 300 so he can go do whatever he needs to do, knowing full well I'm going to get 450 from you in the next 40 days. Yeah. So I make $100,000. Is that the type of money that's available?
Absolutely.
So my question would be, how do I get him to take 300 when he could wait 45 days to get 450? You have to close him on taking 300, because 450, if I can get it, why couldn't he? Well, he's distressed. He wants out. Okay, I get it. So he don't want to wait, but that's 1 in a million. Because every time I get involved, I say, okay, let me try this. I call the realtor, and the realtor says, my buyer wants again, they're always in the millions, the houses I'm talking about, but I've never called a $400,000 house, but let's pretend I did. The real estate guy would say, yeah, asking price is 400. Now, how do I say, I'll give you 70% of that?
I mean, it really just comes down to negotiation.
I know, but isn't that the finding part? Because I could call the guy, will you take 70? No. Will you take 70%? No. Will you take 70%? No. Is that the 60 offers I'm making? When you say all you do is make 60 offers, what is an offer?
So to me, an offer is price, terms, when we're going to close escrow, how many days inspection, what percent is our EMD, who's paying for escrow fees, who's paying for what escrow and title company are we using, like getting very specific with the offer. 60 of those a month, whether it be to a seller, another realtor, another wholesaler, or even another investor that has a deal that they just want out, 60 of those a month.
Well, I see a lot of you guys out there making money, ultimately finding a deal and then giving it to someone who didn't find the deal but wanted the deal. So I know I can find deals if I knew what deals look like, and I know I can find people to go out and do the work to find them. And then I'm just the middleman, because instead of me having them bring you the deal, I'll just have them bring me the deal, and then I'll bring you the deal.
It's all arbitrage.
That's what flipping is, right?
It's all arbitrage. At the end of the day, it's arbitrage, right? It's you're buying, like, it's like Uber. They don't own any cars, but they're one of the biggest transportation companies, right? Airbnb, they don't own any houses, but they're one of the biggest rental. It's arbitrage. They're middlemaning it. They're just connecting homeowners. Airbnb, they're connecting homeowners with guests.
And so you're basically connecting sellers with
Investors.
buyers.
Quality deals with qualified investors.
And you've been doing that for...
We just started the company last February, but I've been doing this specifically since like 2021, but real estate in general, 2017.
So what's your goal with this company?
So right now the goal is to lock in California. We have an office in Beverly Hills. We have another office in Costa Mesa. The next office we're thinking is either San Diego or the Bay Area. Then we're going to bridge the gap in between. So we're going to get Central California, Bakersfield, Fresno, Sacramento, bigger markets in Central California. And then we want to go into other states. So
do you have an exit strategy? Do you want to get acquired?
Yeah, no, well, we want to sell to a private equity company. We've talked about it.
How long do you think that'll take?
I don't know. I mean, we're young. I've still got a lot of energy in me. My partner's even younger than me. He's 23, right? So we got a lot of energy in us. I plan on staying here for a while, doing this for a while. So does he. So who knows, 10, 20 years. We've been talking to some people. We met some people we went to Patrick Bet-David's Sales Leadership Summit at Mar-a-Lago, like less than a month ago. And we met some people that help startups and entrepreneurs set up like a 5-10 year exit plan when they want to sell to a private equity company. So we connected with like 3 guys that specifically do that. So when the time comes, we do want to exit. That's definitely a goal.
It sounds too easy, but it's way too complicated for me.
It's a lot of moving parts. Like I said,
Is it full time for somebody?
I don't hire part-time people. Every other real estate company, Keller Williams, Berkshire Hathaway, every other real estate company will hire part-time. I tell people, like, I've had guys that they're like, I want to try insurance. There's a ton of money. Patrick Bet-David made a shit ton of money in insurance. If that's what you want to do, like I told him, do it, right? Like, you want to do this, it's got to be full time. It can't, because I always tell it to like my time, my partner's time. Our time is valuable. So if we're going to train someone, right? They got to be 100% with us, because we'll be 100% with them.
How many people are you looking for?
So right now we have 21 people, as many people that want to come. We have an office in Beverly Hills, Costa Mesa. Anyone that's licensed, that's local, that wants to join a killer team, come by.
So people listening, they can just come by and you'll train them to do and make money?
They got to join the team.
Well, what does that require?
They have to have a real estate license. They have to be able to go to the office every day. I don't like to do that virtual,
that remote shit.
Ever since that COVID, like, it's crazy. Like, I've had people, like, when I interview people, they're like, can we do it on Zoom? Because to get to Beverly Hills is not easy. There's a lot of traffic. It's far from the freeway. So, like, that's kind of like a test to people, like, how far are they willing to go? Like, I've had people drive 2 hours, right?
Where do you live?
I live in Beverly Hills.
See, that makes it easy.
4-minute walk. It's a 4-minute walk. But I've had people that say, like, hey, can we do it on Zoom? Fuck no. Like, have a great day. Right?
Now, what's funny is, again, a lot of people, they're trying to sell a course. Like, you're not trying to sell a course.
No.
You'll hire them and train them to go make money in your organization, which is how you kind of learned working for the other company. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a good career opportunity. So if there's any youngsters, or what if they're like older?
Yeah,
you don't care what age they are.
I have a guy. It's funny because he started off as an investor on my list, like 3 years ago, and now he's working with me. He's like 64. He just ran his first marathon with us last year.
You run marathons?
Yeah, we got the team to run a marathon last year, or this year actually.
I was gonna say, y'all motherfuckers don't look like you're running marathons.
We're doing a triathlon this in October. Like not a mini triathlon.
Usually runners are skinny though.
I'm a high calorie athlete.
High calorie athlete, is that a thing?
Yeah, I'm a high calorie athlete.
So again, I want to think in my head, how can I leverage this real estate game? You know, I own the realestategame.com.
Really?
Yeah, because
That's
dude,
awesome.
because I know a lot of you guys, and they're all making money. Like, dude, it's not that difficult, and you know, from older to younger, and they're all making money. I don't know, like, you know, Ryan Pineda made money, Carlos Reyes made money, you're making money. I know 100 more that are making money every day. That's all they do, and even wholesalers. You know, Eric Klein.
Yeah.
Like, he's teaching people to make money, and I know one kid that went through his thing, and like, sure enough, dude, the shit works. So there's all these people out there that aren't making any money listening to the show, I bet. What makes you think, or why do you think most people just don't reach out and don't like say, screw it, enough's enough, let me go call Rudy or any of them?
I think people are just comfortable with what they're doing, because a lot of the times because what this is, it's commission based.
So
right?
what?
Well, that's a double-edged sword, right? Like for guys like us, we love that. Like, I don't want a salary. I don't want to be told like I work X amount of hours, I get paid X amount on a fixed cost, right? But
I would never do that.
Exactly. But most people would, right? Like most people like that.
Yeah, but there's side hustles. But you would not for you, because you're either full-time or nothing.
Yeah. I mean, you can side hustle this. You can probably get away with doing, if you side hustle this, you can probably do like 5 deals a year. There's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do. But like for people that want to join my team, I tell them like, if you want to do this, you got to do it full time.
What would I be joining your team as? A realtor?
So either sales or acquisition. So if you're brand new with zero experience, but you have a license, most likely you're going to start off in sales. If you have some experience, we'll probably put you in acquisitions, but mainly we start off most people in sales.
And what's a fella make?
So sales, they start off at 22% and they go up to 30%. And then acquisitions make 30% at base, and then they go up to 38% of the total fee.
And you get the rest.
So yeah, it goes to the company. Yeah. But more than 50% goes to the team.
No,
right?
hey, I'm not, dude, that's how business works, man. You shouldn't be ashamed that you get the rest. I mean, that's how I operate everything. You know, I'm trying to figure out how to get my little freaking toe in the middle of this. Why? Well, because, dude, listen, there's millions of deals out there. You just can't find them because they're buried in millions of retail and millions of that are not in those markets or those positions. So I always think to myself of a neighborhood, like, there's $10,000 in that neighborhood if I know what I'm looking for.
Right.
I just got to go do it. Now, if it takes me a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, if I can get 10 grand in 1 month, right? And I can show someone how to do it, I can find someone that's willing to do that work for 5 grand.
Yeah.
I mean, I got people here working for 5 grand for the whole month, every day, 40 hours a day. Now, it's not knocking on doors and getting rejected.
Yeah.
But if you said, hey, I'll teach you how to knock on doors, say what to say, and I'll pay you 5 grand a month, I'll give you a line of people willing to do it. And they're hard workers. They just want that, you know, opportunity. Mm-hmm. I think real estate's a legit opportunity. I just don't understand why so many people don't hear a podcast like this and start hitting you up. Mm-hmm. Or at least like go buy it from one of the gurus that are teaching it. Because you can learn this stuff from 100 flippers. Why doesn't just everyone do it? Like when I hear about it, it makes me want to do it.
Yeah. So you know how I was telling you that I teach for an education company?
Yeah.
So they have like 600 students right now. They're trying to do like 30 G's.
Dang.
Yeah. 30 G's a year. Yeah.
They pay 30 G's to learn this?
Yeah. Well, going to my point, they pay 30 grand for every 100 students. How many do you think actually show up to the classes and actually put in the work and actually do a deal?
Out of how many?
100 for every 100.
knowing what I know, probably about 6.
A little bit less, but yeah, you're right about right. But that just goes to show, right? Like they're paying $30,000
and they still won't do it.
And they still won't do it.
Well, it's because of their mindset, bro.
Yeah.
They're thinking limited, or they're just lazy. And I can't help those people, but I can find those 6 that are willing to put in the work because they're fed up. They're ready to do something different. They just need to know how. Like right now, if all my shit crashed, all I need to know is how do I get these fucking deals? Because every time I talk to someone, and I've tried it, hey, what do you think? I'll give you all cash. So they want retail. Yeah. They'll never let me buy it for fucking cheap. So I can't flip shit because all I'm going to do is buy it from them, and then it's going to be on the market for me for 6 fucking months. Yeah. The closing costs, and it doesn't make sense. It only makes sense when that house will sell for $400,000 if I wait 2 months. It'll sell for $500,000 if I put $100,000 into it. So I need to buy it at like $280,000 to make it make sense, right? Mm-hmm. I can't find those deals. How do you find the people willing to do the wholesale shit?
It's honestly dude, like I said, it's the reps, man. Like the number of offers I'm signing a day, like the number, like for every offer that we accept. So think about it. If I say 60 offers to get 1 acceptance, that means all other 59 offers that you actually put on paper, talk to, and that's on paper. That doesn't include the people you talk to and you're like, yeah, you know what, I don't think this one's for me. Or you analyze the deal and you're like, yeah, I think we're too far off on that. That doesn't include any of those. So you got to have all those conversations.
So all of those houses come online and you offer to buy 60 of them.
Oh, I mean, if you're looking at it from that specifically standpoint where you're only offering on MLS, yes.
Yeah, but that's what you mean by make 60 offers to find one.
Right.
Or to get one person to say yes.
To get one, but it has to be on person. But in order to get 60 offers on paper, you have to have hundreds of conversations. It's not just 60. You see 60 deals. I submit 1 offer per deal. It's like, no, I got to look at 200-300 deals, negotiate, go back and forth, and then narrow it down to these 60 that's actually worth putting on paper and submitting an offer on.
So that's now I understand, and that's why no one is really willing to do it, because dude, that's called grind.
It's a fucking grind,
and that's why I'm not in the real estate game.
It's a fucking grind.
See, I don't have to grind that hard just to make money.
That's why I tell these guys, like I tell the team, like, yes, we're wholesaling. You're always chasing for the next deal, but it's like, what are you going to do with that money? So what we like to do is promote in-house investments, right? So like I'm all big on like buying rental properties, right? Like I prefer to buy a rental property 1,000 times before I'll buy a flip, right? I'll do wholesaling with the money I get from wholesaling. I'll buy rentals. Yeah, I'll fix it once. I'll go through the headache once, but then at least I keep it and I forget about it, right? But what we're starting to do is like do in-house flips, right? Within the team, like 20,000 here, 30,000 there. We put our money together and we do the projects ourselves. But yeah, it's also to promote more of the in-house investment, because yeah, you're going to make this money, but what are you going to do with that money? Because you don't want to always be chasing for the next deal, because that's essentially what wholesaling is. You're always chasing for the next deal. Nothing wrong with that, but there comes to a certain point where it's like, hey, I don't want to be chasing anymore. Like, let's build something.
Is that where you are now?
I mean, I'm still putting deals together. I'm still selling houses.
You got people chasing for you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still putting deals. I'm focused more on the sales side. My partner, he brings more deals to the table on acquisitions. But like that Stockton deal was my deal. He sold it.
So if 300 people listening reached out and said, I want to sell my house, only a couple of those will actually end up deals?
Yeah. Not all of them, like, because there's going to be people that, like you said, they want retail, and those are just the people that we just don't want to work with. It's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with
you can't, because you can't make that gap.
So like whenever I'm working, like let's say I'm dealing with let's say it's an MLS deal, it's on Redfin and Zillow, and I'm calling and I ask the agent, I'm like, hey, are most of your offers coming from investors or owner occupants? They're coming from owner occupants, but I'm getting some investors too. Okay. Would you say your seller's leaning more towards on price or terms? Because if they say terms, I'm in the game, right? Because investors win off of terms. But if they say price, I'm going to be like, you know what? This one's probably not for me. I'm not even going to offer on it, because if they're leaning more towards on price and they have more offers from owner occupants always pay more than investors. Right. So there's no point. Yeah, because they don't. Well, owner occupants are the ones that they're buying to live in it, right? They're not in it to make a quick profit like us investors, right? So they're always going to pay more than any investor. So if their sellers leaning more towards on price and they're getting more offers from owner occupants, like there's no point in working with them.
See, that's why I do these podcasts.
Dropping bombs.
Well, no, now I'm finally, after 100 of these, I'm starting to get it. See, you should be an educator. You should be teaching this for money, for that 30K.
I should be taking a 30K.
Well, I'm glad I'm getting a free 30K education. Of course, I'm sure there's more to it, but I'm seeing a lot right now, and that makes perfect sense. And now I don't necessarily want to get into it myself because I ain't doing that shit. But I still would invest, because the investors that come to you, they don't want to deal that shit either. They're like, here's $100,000. You go grind out the balls and just bring me back my percentage.
100%.
What percentage are you averaging for your investors? Do they have to be accredited?
No, not at all. In fact, I personally, because like my style of sales is educating people, I used to focus more on, like, my niche was first time flippers. Like, I used to work with a ton of first time flippers. In fact, more than experienced investors. And I prefer to work with the newbies, because you tell a newbie jump, they're going to be like, should I do a flip? Right? They're going to trust you. They see you as a figure of authority, versus like if they're in the first project, they're like, hey, Rudy, did I sign everything I need to sign? Do I need anything else to do? Like, what do I have to do? Versus the experienced guy, like, you got to call their assistant, their assistant's assistant. You got to go through a whole chain of command. They're in 20 other deals. So this one is just another deal, right? So working with the first time investors is always easier.
They don't have to be accredited?
No, not at all. In fact, a lot of our investors, they're like private flippers that they just do this for a living.
Because you have the deals in front of them.
Yeah. And
because if I'm an investor, dude, as long as you got deals, I don't really care what the deal looks like. I don't care what floor you're putting in it. What I care about is, what am I getting back? So I invest. Oh,
I see what you're asking. If I have like a fund and the investor's investing in a fund, are they accredited? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
No. So we don't, the fund, like the in-house, the flips, that's in-house. That's actually
you're
something.
Just pooling your money together.
In-house. But that's actually something that we are going to go towards too. Like, that's like a later phase in the company, where we open up the crowdfunding for all the other investors, right?
Yeah. For people that don't want to grind.
Exactly.
Because there's investors that listen to the show, or people with money. I consider that an investor.
Yeah.
If I'm willing to give you my money and get some in return and wait, that's to me an investor.
Yeah.
So I don't need to get involved. I don't care. I just want a return. And I met some guy the other day. It was a general contractor, and now he has these funds. And he, out of all the ones I've heard, that's the one I like the best. And because I said, how do you know what the recon looks like and how much is it? He says, dude, we got it down to the fucking screws at Lowe's are in our software.
Yeah.
And we can walk through a property. And when we say that we need 18 doorknobs, we know how much the fucking doorknobs cost.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, that shit's dialed in. And that's all just me going, here, I'll throw in money because I know I'm going to get X amount of money back. To me, that's an investor.
Yeah.
Another thing, verify this. So I could use my reach to say, hey, ladies and gentlemen, if for some reason you're in a situation where you just need to get rid of your property, I can liquidate it fast or buy it myself. Hit me up, shoot me your property, and let me see if I can help you. Is that valuable?
100%.
Because what if 1,000 of them send me a piece? Now, again, they're not all buyable. Do I hand them to somebody and have them just underwrite them, and the ones that are valuable? Yeah. When I say valuable, I mean, like, dude, that's a deal. Like, in other words, like, it's worth 400. The guy wants 280 to walk away right now. And it doesn't even need refurbished.
Mm-hmm.
They're out there. Those are out there too.
Yeah.
Someone just inherited their dad's house that died. He just wants the $300,000 he can get today. He doesn't want to wait and dick around for the 450. So I like have them just reach out to me. I put together a little website that says, similar to the We Buy Ugly Houses signs.
Yeah.
Who started that We Buy Ugly Houses?
I don't know exactly who started it.
Because they made millions.
It's Homevestors. I know it's like Homevestors is the company name. I think they're a franchise. And then they right now the biggest is Seller's Advantage. I didn't even know that. We were at this restaurant earlier today, and they were on the TV, and I had to take a picture. I see them all over SoCal. They're crushing it in SoCal. I didn't even know they're out in Vegas.
What are they basically saying? Sell us your home? Yeah. But to see, that's leads. That's lead gen, because everyone that calls isn't necessarily a deal. So all they're doing is generating leads. And out of the 1,000 people that say, I want to sell my home quick, there's X amount that are deals, which those deals must make enough money to pay for those ads or they wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah. And
I wonder if they're doing the whole thing or they're just generating the leads and selling them to guys like you.
That they're doing the second. They're generating. So I see them more as like an acquisition marketing company.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
See, let's do that.
Yeah.
Are you a source for those?
So right now we're focused on both. We intended to do like a separate like marketing company. It didn't work out with a business partner. It just didn't work out. But that is definitely where I believe the real money is if you just focus on the direct to seller marketing aspect of it and then just sell it to that's like we wanted to do like the vertical integration, right? Where we have acquired and then we have that direct to seller marketing company funneling the deals through acquired and then acquired being the dispo outlet. I do think that's where the real money is in the acquisition. That's very expensive though. That's where these guys that from my understanding, they're spending like $1 million a month just on the marketing, billboards, radio, commercials.
Yeah,
TV.
But Rudy, that should tell you that
it works.
Yeah. Because you don't spend $1 million a month unless it's working.
Yeah.
So I don't care about the $1 million a month. I care about the money back. If I told you I'll give you $5 for every dollar you give me, how many would you give me?
As many as I can.
I'll give you 10 million a month.
Yeah.
And I'd be freaking happy to go get you 10 million more. And that's where investors come into play. Because people always go, well, why would you let anybody else in? Well, let's say you would give me 5 for every dollar and I only have 10 million. Well, I'm going to give you that. And I've got 15. I'll give you that back. But if you got more capacity, I'm going to say, dude, you want to do this? I can get you 4 for every dollar you give me. See, I just got to give him some and then I get $1 from his money too. So that's why when people, always ask, well, why are they going to let them in like I did in the beginning? Well, because again, you don't have unlimited ability. There's people out there right now in tax liens. Yeah. You can buy tax liens. Have you ever heard tax liens? Tax liens and tax deeds. There's millions to be made in tax liens because you're making the deal with the city or the state. You're not making the deal with the buyer. This buyer, let's say, is down on their taxes $8,000. They don't have $8,000, but their house is literally collateral. Yeah. So you go down to the state and you say, here's the $8,000. You get back 25%. Within 1 year, you get your money and 25%, or you get the house free and clear. People say, how's it free and clear? What if there's debt on it? Because after the person doesn't pay, then they go to the bank, the lien holder, and they go, you want to pay this guy? And if they don't, for any reason, the county, the city, they can take that house from the bank. It's old rules. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
It's like, how can they do that? Well, because the bank has the right to pay it, but if they don't, literally they lose the house. Yeah. And I've talked to a guy that teaches this, and I keep going like, dude, how come everybody's not down at the county clerk's office looking at all the liens and just investing money in liens? Because it's guaranteed by the real estate. So you hope someone doesn't pay you your money.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have $800,000 saved up, go down, buy $800,000 in tax liens. You're getting 25% on your money in certain counties. Yeah. That's a fact. And it's guaranteed by law. And what happens if you don't? You get the house.
Yeah.
Like that's no brainer shit. I'm looking into that one too.
That's the beauty about real estate, man. There's just so many different avenues. So there's like the creative finance. You got guys like Pace Morby doing.
That's another thing. Like Pace, totally that son of a bitch. I've had him on the podcast. I talked to him. He makes it look so easy. And I'm like, dude, where are all these people willing to get all creative? Like send them to me. Like, fuck, you'll give away that fucking 80-acre ranch with a kick-ass, the whole fucking thing, and all you want is, me to take over your payment or something. Like, it doesn't make sense, but Pace is out there doing it, teaching people to do it. And he's got a huge network.
Yeah, dude. It's those types of deals. They're harder to come across, I will say, but
do you
they're
ever come
out there.
across them?
Yeah. So I just bought one in Barstow. We're going to check it out on our way back.
If you ever need any creative loans, that's me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like if someone will let me buy their home for nothing down and no risk.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, I can't flip it. I can't do nothing with it. And he ends up getting it back. Yeah. Like, how did I lose?
Yeah. Yeah. No, there's the deal that I have right now. We got a 0% interest rate. My payment's $600 a month for a duplex in California on 2.5 acres.
I'll buy it right now for $650 a month.
For I can't, dude. It's too good of a deal. It's honestly, it's kind of just been sitting there for a bit, but I'm like, dude, it's $600 a month. It's appreciating in value. I'm gonna turn it into an Airbnb once I put some time into it. But yeah, there's deals. The one in Barstow, 3% interest.
Deals. Bomb Squad, help me find these deals. I want deals where I don't need to pay them anything. They just want me to have it.
Yeah. It blows my mind when I was like, he's okay with 0% interest. Like, that blows my mind. But hey, as long as the seller's cool with it and the seller agrees to it, and there's pros and cons, right, on why a seller may want to go that route. But if you can find one that is open to it, like, man, there's some opportunity there too.
Well, to Pace's credit, he doesn't just find them willing to lay down and take ridiculous deals. He finds them and then talks them into creative financing. He sells them on, dude, you're going to have to do this. You're going to have to do that. You're going to have to pay this. You're going to have to pay that. If you do it with this way, you don't have to deal with that. Mm-hmm. And they're like, yeah, that makes sense. I almost went through Pace's course just to learn what is that pitch? Because dude, creative financing, I like the best out of them all. Why? Because you're not borrowing money. You're not doing anything. You're finding them. It's crazy. Yeah. Pace says you don't need credit. Why? Because it's their credit. You don't need nothing. It's theirs. I'm like, well, dude, how can somebody just walk away with no money? You're coming in and you're not giving them shit. Well, I mean, it depends on the terms. Like one time he said to me, he found a guy that had $800,000 equity in this nice ass house. And he didn't have any money to put down, but the guy said no, because he wanted money to put down. So he talked him into getting a second on his home. And he'll pay both, the first and the second. And then he can take that $300,000 second and make that his down payment. And the guy said, okay. And I'm like, dude, you just talked him into borrowing his own down payment?
Yeah, man.
That's creative financing.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I want to learn the art of that. Yeah. But I might be in the too higher range because I don't want little shitters and turn them into Airbnbs and put a floor in them and get some rent. I'm looking for the shit that I want. Yeah. Like, give me a fucking 80-acre ranch on a lake in Montana. Did you see? That's where Pace found something. Did you see it on social media? I think I saw it. Yeah. Yeah. It looks badass up there. And he says that was a creative deal he found. Mm-hmm. Like, dude, the guy wanted just some, dude, I'll take them all. Yeah. Anybody listening, you got creative finance and you want to get rid of your property creatively, you DM me the word creative and send me your property and I'll get real creative with you.
Let's get creative.
And I'll watch, I'm going to get dick doing that. Because you don't know. I buy it. Next thing you know, I'm getting freaking environmental fines and shit. Now I owe $1 million. That's why I've never really gotten into the deal. Because, dude, there's all kinds of shit underneath the hood you don't know about. It sounds easy. It sounds great. But when you get in there, dude, you need experience. Yeah. That's why people are, if they really want to get involved, I would say find someone who's doing it. Go to work with them, put in a couple years and pay attention, and then go out and do it. But again, dude, Pace said, no, dude, you just got to be willing to knock doors and find people willing to do creative. And there's a lot of people willing to do it. How come you don't do creative, or do you?
I mean, we've came across creative deals. It's just not our number one target, just because a lot of the sellers that we work with or have worked with, they want the cash. They want the fast offer. They want the cash immediately. They want the fast close as opposed to the creative terms. Now, the sellers that, let's say, they want more of a higher price point, And we're like, you know what? It kind of makes sense for someone like this Barstow deal, right? It didn't make sense for a flipper. Like, I wouldn't flip the house. Like, if I didn't buy it to flip it, like, it doesn't make sense as a flip, but as a rental property, because the cash flow, it makes sense, right? So I'm willing to pay a little bit extra on the purchase price just so I can get better terms in the long run. So if there's ever a seller that they're like maybe a little bit too high on the price, but they're open to those types of terms, then we'll go that route. But a lot of times we just straight up offer them the cash.
Okay. So everybody listening, tell the listeners who you're looking for.
So what I'm looking for 2 things or 3, right?
Here's how you can help, Bomb Squad, and here's how we can help you. Go ahead.
So number 1, whether you're an agent, you're a seller, you're a realtor or a wholesaler, someone that has a deal that they're looking to sell, right? Whether a lot of the time our bread and butter is vacant single family fix and flips, but we've dealt with vacant lots, multifamilies, condos, townhouses, different, just anything in California, send it my way. If you're an investor, whether you're a first time flipper, looking to get your feet wet, looking to get out of the 9 to 5 to get into real estate investing, or maybe you're an experienced investor looking to scale their business, looking for more opportunities, reach out to us. Or if you're an agent that's licensed and lives close to Costa Mesa and Beverly Hills, looking for an opportunity, reach out to me too.
And where do they reach out? Websites acquired-homes.com.
Acquired-homes.com or Instagram, acquiredtm, or rudy.cgomez on Instagram.
Rudy.cgomez, folks. And I think if they just modeled what you did, bro, you're going to change some youngsters, even some oldsters. There's older folks out there like me that we're watching you youngsters going, God damn, dude, where was I when I was 25? What was I doing?
Yeah.
You guys are out building freaking real estate portfolios. I was slinging freaking Pontiac Volkswagens. All right. Well, folks, you guys heard Rudy. Go follow him. If you guys want some opportunity, hit him up, acquired-homes.com. On Instagram, you can't miss him, rudy.cgomez. Until next time, keep it real.